If you feel like you're stuck in your life and you don't really know where you can go, what you can do different, and you're kind of just working your job and, hanging out afterwards and doing it all over again the next day, I have some mindset changes that I want to share with you that could change you and get you out of that routine that you're in, that you're stuck, that you don't really want to do anymore. I understand that a lot of people are stuck in these jobs that they don't get fulfillment in, and they work them for their whole lives. I mean, there's people that they work jobs that they really don't want to do because either the money is good or they feel like they don't have any other options, and their circumstances are not ideal. So, in this video, I want to go over some things that help me to get out of that type of environment, that lifestyle, and hopefully they can help you. When I was young, I got into I had the same I had the same expectations out of life. You just get your education, go get a good paying job, and if you do good, if you do go, hard work and all that, you can work your way up the ladder and get paid more, and everything's great. Everything, that's what people strive for. That's what people teach you to strive for. And it's almost where if you don't do that, if you kind of venture off and you don't get a job, people look at you negatively. I understand that because that's the way I was raised, and I think that's the way that our society is. I understand that, but I also understand that there are other options and other ways that you can go in your life. And it took me a while to figure it out because I wasn't taught. I had to figure stuff out on my own. Um, One of the mindset changes that I made was kind of sacrificial in a way where instead of trying to be entertained all the time, watching TV, watching sports, playing video games, those types of things. I really enjoyed that type of thing because it got me out of the mindset that I was in, where it was kind of an escape for me from the life that I was living. I really didn't enjoy going to work for, all day, coming home and then having a few hours to eat and, get ready for bed to do it all over again. So the thing that helped me out with that was the sacrificial part where, I don't really watch TV anymore. I kind of turn that off. I turn the news off. After I turn the TV off for, I've been off TV for over 10 years now. And when turned the TV off, I started to see the world differently. It's kind of strange, but, they call TV programming for a reason, but I felt like I got out of that programming of my mind and I was able to start thinking on my own and start to, not give in to, um, what's kind of told of you. And I don't really go with what the crowd says anymore. I don't really follow what everybody else is doing anymore. And the thing about that, which I think is curious, is, when you stop doing what everybody else is doing, you start to get different results than everybody else. So if you continue to do what everybody else and what you see on the news or what you see on TV, the way you dress, the way you talk, and everything, you're getting all that from TV, and you're expecting different results um, from everybody else. It's kind of a weird way of thinking. So in order to be different, you have to think different. So getting some of those, s- getting out of some of those habits, those bad habits of, you know, basically, and I don't want to say entertainment is all bad and TV is all bad because, you can do things, you can still enjoy things like that in moderation. But to get out of it, to sacrifice some of that in order to focus your energy more on other things is a major mindset change. So instead of watching TV, turn the TV off for don't watch that extra episode that you wanted to watch when you're binge watching Netflix and you're thinking, "Oh, I want to watch one more episode." Instead of doing that, turn the TV off and go get a book. Go on Amazon, order a book that has some way of an interest to you that gets your mind thinking, you know, in a different direction, or learn something is what I'm saying. Get your mind to start thinking of how you can do things instead of saying how and saying that you can't do things. I think that's a major mindset change too, is whenever something is presented to us, we kind of automatically disprove it and say that's not for me. That's not something that I can do. But that mindset, I think if we change that a little bit and say, "Oh, that guy did that, maybe I can do that. How would I be able to do that?" It's helpful to see that somebody else does something too, and where we can't really copy people 100%, we can copy in a way to make it our own. Maybe take an idea, or yeah, even if it's an idea that we have ourselves, and try to make something out of that idea. But we really have a powerful thing that we can do, where if we start asking ourselves questions instead of telling ourselves no to things or answers that we don't want to hear, we start to open up the brain in a different way, and we start to figure out things and use it in a creative way. And I think there's a lot to that. And I'm learning a lot on this YouTube journey that I'm on too, where, it's kind of unlocking my brain, because I'm looking at other creators, and I've been on YouTube for a long time, but I'm starting to analyze things in a different way with YouTube in particular. And it's starting to open my brain on other topics, and how to present better, how to communicate better. And these are some things that I'm still learning. Talking to the camera is a big thing that I'm learning still. I did that 30-day challenge in the beginning of this YouTube venture that I'm on, and it helped me a lot to get into talking to the camera. But it really kind of was just kind of breaking in. And so getting past that now and starting to develop ideas and scripts and things to talk about, it's I think it's developing more, but it's going to be a long journey. But the great thing is that doing something like this is building those skills. And so once you start to get in the mindset of not just thinking about things and learning things, is putting some of those things into action, like taking the action, is a huge mindset change that will get you going. And right now, I mean, I still feel a little bit nervous and awkward doing what I'm doing. Like, I'll stumble over my words or lose my train of thought or whatever. But doing this in practice, it helps me to develop these skills. So the part that's tough is the doing part. And they say, there's other YouTubers that'll say, just start doing. And I've said this too, is just start, just do it. I think the toughest part of it is doing it. And then the second toughest part is to keep doing it, because I think a lot of creators, a lot of people that start this, they fall off. They'll even people that kind of dedicate um, time to say, I'm going to do once a week or whatever they dedicate to, and then they stop doing it for whatever reason, and maybe life gets in the way or whatever. It's tough, but making that dedication to doing something, I think, is huge. So if you just set your goals and your aspirations to doing something, I'm not right now, I'm not on a schedule of when I'm going to do a video. I didn't think I was going to do a video today. The last video that I did a couple days ago, I didn't think I was going to do a video that day either. Um, I don't have a schedule set for doing videos, but I am making it a point to do a video, and I enjoy doing videos. So that kind of helps me. And if you're not in that mindset where you enjoy it, then I could see that being a lot more difficult. For me, I'm enjoying this process. And I think you should probably try to enjoy the process of doing it. Otherwise, you probably won't do it. You won't you won't continue to do it if you do start doing it. So those are a couple mindset changes that have helped me. Another one is I think, don't take into consideration that the people that we hang out with can influence us one way or another. So I've talked about this in another video of why you shouldn't tell anybody about your YouTube channel. If you have people that are discouraging in nature, I think, we all know some people like that that can kind of discourage you in ways that you want to go, or thoughts that you have, or if you kind of go against the grain, if you're not following the crowd. And this kind of goes back to that whole, if you don't have a regular job, you're not contributing to society correctly. Um, so if you have people in your life like that that kind of discourage you from going after some dreams or aspirations, you may want to try to kind of limit yourself from them, kind of withdraw a little bit from them if you're trying something that, you know, goes against the grain. If you're trying, like YouTube, for instance, I've used this before, but if you're trying YouTube or something else that um, you want to start getting into entrepreneurship, or people will they'll tell you don't quit your 9 to 5, or you know don't stop doing something that's stable for something that's risky. People kind of get scared at that, and people don't really understand you or the thoughts that you have or your ambitions the way that you do. And even if they do maybe encourage you in a way, like you say, some idea that you have, and they kind of encourage you, they may give you advice that's different than the advice that you're thinking from yourself. And it may be good advice, but sometimes it could be discouraging. So you have to understand, like, the goals and aspirations that they may have in their point of view of what you should be doing may not be what you need to do. They may have it, and again, I'm relating this back to the YouTube thing, but if you tell people that you want to start a YouTube channel for whatever reason, and sometimes it may be to monetize YouTube, let's say, like, oh, I want to do that on the side to monetize, get AdSense or whatever they think, whatever you think, or whatever they think monetizing YouTube means. And they'll say, oh, well, there's no money in that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't pursue that. Or they'll say, oh, that'd be good. You should do it like this. And then they have an idea of how you should be doing it. If they don't have the experience in doing it themselves, you know, I, I, take that with a grain of salt. Don't let people influence you over your own ambitions that you have. Try to think of how you can achieve what you want to achieve, and then go from there. So those are just a couple of things that I was thinking of for being able to change just the way that you think and the way you feel about certain things you want to accomplish in your life. The mindset changes will help you get out of a stuck position, but you really can't do anything in your life if you don't take an action on it. So learning alone is great, but learning without doing anything, I think, is where a lot of people fail. I hope this has been helpful. I'll talk to you guys later.